Hello, welcome back to the Neon Nightcast podcast. I'm your host, Michael Thrax, and like always, I'm joined by Garrett Zagary and Eric, Dr. Soybean.
Thanks, or as I like to call the two of you, the Vinton and Naomi to my Thelma Harper.
The blah 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah,
Thelma and Louise. That's the only Thelma I know. Is that right? Is it Thelma and Louise? No. Okay.
You are incorrect, sir.
Speaking of Thelma and Louise has guns in it, and guns is kind of what we're going to be talking about today. I think there's guns, right? There must be a gun.
I think a couple of the games we're going to be talking about have guns in them.
Well, I meant Thelma and Louise because I've never actually seen it.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure it does. Anyway.
I think so. Yeah, so anyways, we're going to talk about first-person shooting games. And we're not big experts, but we thought it could be a fun topic. We're going to talk about strictly first-person, not third-person, not side-scrolling.
Not rail shooters.
Well, we are going to talk about rail shooters.
Yeah, because, that's where FPS has got their start.
Like, we're talking about Quake and stuff.
Quake's a rail shooter?
That's what they call it?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
it's technically a rail shooter. You mean like
Doom was
arcade.
A rail shooter too.
Right, I mean like the old style rail shooters, but
like so rail shooters
I'm thinking of like the Punisher on NES where you're like constantly moving shooting at things. Like you don't control.
Yeah. You're thinking of like Typing of the Dead and shit like that, where a rail shooter in my mind is Quake and Doom, where you don't have control of where you aim really. Like you aim your body and that's where you shoot. So yeah, like kind of to start off, let's talk about the original shooters, Wolfenstein, Doom, and Quake. Quickly, let's get into Quake, because Quake is kind of the one that I didn't play at all. But
yeah, Quake is the only one of those three I've never played.
Quake 2, I believe, was one of the I'm not going to say one of the first, but it was a game. It was one of the I want to say it's one of the first shooters that had tournaments, and people would literally drive to people's houses and set up LANs to do these tournaments. And
that was Unreal Tournament, right?
No, Quake. Unreal Tournament was a game.
Oh, all right, never mind.
So, that was really annoying and obnoxious. I'm sorry. So anyways,
what?
Nothing. There's something popped up on my computer and made a loud noise. Don't worry about it. You're making me lose my train of thought talking about Unreal Tournament. So yeah, they would. This was fairly early on. Like there was barely dial-up, but they would come to like each other's houses and LAN Quake and do like the matches. I think were like first to 100 kills. So they'd be like long ass matches. And I remember like watching tournaments and stuff. Like this is like shit. Like I don't know how the fuck they recorded it or whatever. It probably had something installed in it. But yeah, I just remember watching matches and like people commenting like now, like a year ago they were commenting on these matches, and it was just, I don't know, it was really interesting.
Real quick, can I tell you my favorite LAN party story since you brought it up?
Sure.
So I was never really into LAN parties because I never played Quake. But I went to a couple just that friends were going to be at because there was also going to be other activities like drinking and so forth. So I was at this.
420, bro.
I was at.
Yeah. Yeah, that doobie.
Don't do drugs, kids. I don't do them anymore. I don't touch the stuff anymore. But back in the day, whole different ball game. But anyways, I was at this LAN party.
What are you, Danny? You're our Danny. You're the old guy that like doesn't do drugs anymore.
I guess. I think I'm my own person. But anyways, I was at this LAN party, and it was a long night. Everybody was drinking and doing other things. And towards the end of the night, this one guy, Jay, fell onto, like, he had a computer, and the computer he had opened up because I think he was adding more RAM or fucking around with it or something, and he fell on it. And the computer, like, the shit inside actually cut his arm so deeply that you could see, like, fat in it.
Well, that's fucking disgusting.
Yeah. But, like, from falling on a computer part did that.
Why are you telling me this?
Well, it just, that always comes into my head when I think of LAN parties.
Yeah. Gross.
I've only been to one LAN party, and it was for Halo, the original Halo.
Yeah, I can see your Halo.
Halo, I played the original. I played a lot of 2. Like, I'd go over to, like, my buddies' houses or whatever, and we'd play 2, like, multiplayer. But I never really got into Halo that much.
Yeah, I never got into it either because whenever I played Halo, I just wanted to be the person to drive the cars. Like, I was like, I don't want to fucking shoot people. I just want to drive the cars.
Yeah.
And there was that one map in the desert where you were like at those temples, and there was like that mammoth or something. I think it was called the mammoth. And it was like that giant fucking vehicle.
Yeah.
And it moved like half a mile an hour. I would always go drive that during fucking like PvP matches because I didn't give a fuck.
Halo is something we should have brought up last week when we were talking about hype, because holy shit, people treated that game like the second coming.
Halo Reach. Yeah, everyone.
Yeah, and then Halo Reach,
mind.
Wasn't it just like kind of just the same thing reskinned?
I think it was not well received.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it got poor ratings, but I don't know. I don't think I played it.
But anyways, we're not too. We'll go to more modern shooters. Let's get back. I just thought it was really impressive that people would drive all across America to play fucking Quake. Like, that's crazy. That's really impressive.
Hands across America.
What is that?
It's a song.
It was something they did in
like
the 80s where they
or something.
It was something they did in the 80s where they tried to make a human chain of people holding hands all across the continental United States.
Oh, okay.
It didn't work out.
Yeah, like that's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of time to waste also. So
it was dumb. So the first FPS I ever played was Wolfenstein 3D. I don't know about you boys.
Yes, because we played it on that CD we had that had a bunch of freeware games on it.
Was that your first one too, Eric?
I can't remember if I played that one first or Doom first, but it was one of those two.
Yeah, I think.
We did. Sorry, just real quick. We did have Wolfenstein on that disc, but we first played it on Grandpa's Windows 3 computer, Wolfenstein and Doom.
Oh yeah, you're right. But yeah, go on, Garrett.
I was just gonna say my first FPS I think was either GoldenEye on N64 or the Sarge's Soldiers, the Green Army Men Soldiers, Sarge's Heroes or whatever for N64. I can't remember which one I played first, but we personally didn't own them. We only had like fucking Mario games like Super Mario, Smash Bros, and that kind of stuff. We'd have to go to my friend's house who also had an N64, and we would usually bring some of our games, and we just go there and hang out, and like we could spend all night just playing like GoldenEye or Sarge's Heroes.
Yeah,
some good times. Good times were had.
I remember playing a lot of GoldenEye, but we'll get to GoldenEye.
Yeah, why don't we just?
We haven't talked about like the biggest influential shooter of like all time, Doom.
You know what I remember most about Doom is Doom was probably Doom was one of the first games that people modified.
Yeah.
And made custom layouts and
well, no, sorry, go on.
No, I was just saying that like Doom, I think that's one thing that's like not only was it one of the first popular first-person shooters, but it was one of the first games that people made mods for, I guess is the proper term for it.
Yeah.
And I remember a buddy of mine, this is like we're probably like, 8, 9 years old. We're talking about Doom, and he was bullshitting me, obviously, but he really didn't like our school's librarian, so he told me that he made a mod of Doom where it was our school's library and you could just like shoot it up and destroy it, which thank Christ this was pre-Columbine, otherwise it probably would have ended with him, taking a fucking vacation, but this was pre-Columbine, so we just laughed at it. But he specifically said he programmed it so if you blew up one specific shelf, the librarian would come out and yell at you because the shelf contained Barney books that were his favorite, and then you could kill the librarian.
What the fuck?
Funny jokes. No.
Yeah, like, I mean, there's stories that CSGO, the original CSGO, was like based off the guy's like high school or mall and stuff. But
Really?
I mean,
That's
yeah,
interesting,
like, yeah, you could. In the original CSGO, I think one of the levels was like a school or something, and the school that the guy who made it looks very similar to the school in CSGO.
Wow.
But I mean, I don't think that means they're gonna go shoot up their school.
No,
it's just an
absolutely
easy
not.
environment for them to recreate. I mean,
Yeah, no,
Eric's friend is different because he's talking about shooting his fucking librarian.
Where they're like, we need a map for a shooter, and let's look at this mall we go to.
Yeah,
Why
exactly.
not? Yeah, but like no, they always say that at some point there was more Doom installed on computers than there was like Windows. People would just like buy computers to play Doom.
Well, I
And-
don't think that can be accurate because
No,
you need,
because they would just run it off DOS. Because I don't know if you remember, but on Grandpa's Windows 3 to play
you're right.
Dude, you had to
You're
go
right.
through DOS.
You're right,
And
it was DOS.
So Windows started to sell Windows with Doom pre-installed on it. And like there's like a commercial where Bill Gates comes out in like a Matrix trench coat and like shoots the camera or some shit.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Dude, whatever it takes to sell software.
I was gonna say I think there was a commercial or like a CD with Friends in Doom, but I'm pretty sure it's Friends, two of the actors on Friends explaining how to use Windows, not Doom. Windows makes more sense. Yeah, so like Doom was huge. Doom was the most influential shooter. That and GoldenEye, but I'd say Doom. It was like bigger than Jesus.
They even ported it to Super Nintendo, which is a technological achievement on par with having it would be like making a port of the newest GTA that could run on a PlayStation 2.
Interesting.
Where's the numbers on this? I want to see facts, Eric. How do you know it's a PlayStation 2?
He probably read it on 4chan.
Well, why do you is that where you think I read everything?
Well, I'm just saying he just probably read it somewhere and now he's just stating the thing. I'm not, I ain't talking shit. Did you read it on 4chan?
No, I didn't read it on
Okay.
4chan.
So I don't know, let's what do you guys think about Doom? What do you guys think about Wolfenstein? And what do you guys think about Quake?
I like in Wolfenstein how you can eat the dog's food to get your health back. That's kind of a gross but neat touch.
I like how you're shooting Nazis.
Whoa, Mike. Nazis have a right to free speech. You can't just go around killing Nazis.
But for once, these were literal Nazis, not quote literal Nazis.
Yeah. Very Yeah, you're not going around and like shooting like JonTron. You're shooting like
Yeah.
SS soldiers.
You're not shooting JonTron or somebody who
Trump.
Well, never mind.
Although
fuck no, the FBI's coming. No, I'm kidding.
Like, you're in fucking Canada. What is the FBI gonna?
They have no jurisdiction.
Yeah,
I think they could find a way.
I mean, they probably could, but I doubt they care about some fucking Canadian talking about Trump.
Yeah, it's true.
Although I never played Doom or Quake.
Yeah.
What was the other one?
Wolfenstein.
Man, I almost bought Wolfenstein, the reboots, and Doom.
What did you do? What word did you just say?
I almost bought the reboots.
Reboot. That's the next topic, man.
I know, but like,
that's. Come on, that was good. It was whatever. You guys, I don't know what you guys. Reboots. Yeah, so all of a sudden they're just rebooting all these games. So Wolfenstein, Doom, Quake just got a reboot. I guess you could say Counter-Strike was rebooted, and we'll get into Counter-Strike. But yeah, like, I don't know, like, I guess they got tired of just remaking Call of Duties, and they were like, let's...
I don't think you can compare Call of Duty to these games, really, because Call of Duty has a more PvP aspect, while Quake had tournaments, right? But Doom didn't, really.
Yeah.
Did it?
No, I don't think so. Maybe Doom 2, but
So
it was
I thought
mostly
Doom
Quake.
was mostly just like the FPS RPG style.
Well,
Like,
not really an
just follow the
RPG.
story.
Yeah, it was more of, just go around, shoot stuff, if you can call that a story.
Shooting demons.
Yeah. But yeah, no, they definitely, I think it's like, because like, for so many years, it was literally just Call of Duty games, and they had like BioShock and The Darkness, other, shooters, but I guess people got tired of playing Call of Duty, and they were like, what are we going to do? Everyone's tired of traditional war games, so we'll make...
I think there were other FPSs than Call of Duty before they rebooted these.
Okay,
Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell.
Okay, I guess what I'm trying to say is people got tired of just World War I and World War II shooters.
But Wolfenstein is World War II.
Well, Wolfenstein's kind of its own thing.
Yeah, doesn't Wolfenstein in the later levels have like zombies in it too? I think it does branch off.
Hitler
into...
is in like a mech.
Yeah, like it branches off into fantasy. It's not
like
hyper realistic.
And the reboots are about like the Nazis like winning, I think. And you're like a resistance guy trying to kill the new Nazis or some shit.
Okay, so it takes just a different path on the history in Wolfenstein.
So it's like it's like campy and stuff. Like I saw like a clip from the new one, and you're in a diner, and a Nazi comes in, and he's like drinking a milkshake, and that's ridiculous. It's a Nazi drinking a milkshake.
Why is that ridiculous?
Because Nazis are demons. They don't have lives. They just eat women and children. They don't drink milkshakes.
Part of the reason why they're so pissed off is because they didn't have delicious chocolate frosty milkshakes, Eric.
That's why Hitler did what he did, because he couldn't get milkshakes in Germany anymore. Yeah, because them damn Jews were hogging it all.
Hogging Dawson it all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not funny today. Yeah, so I don't know. I just really think like we back in the 90s and the 80s we had all these original ideas. Like, why not just reboot them?
There was Star Trek.
You mean like
too?
You mean like Hollywood's been doing with like every fucking movie in the past 5 years?
Thing. Yeah, reboots are very hot right now, I guess. So why not do it for video games?
Because they're running out of ideas.
I feel like it's also because a lot of like a lot of kids never watch the original. So it's an easy way for parents who have kids that haven't seen it. They want to relive the nostalgia.
They get the nostalgia trip, and the kids get to watch something new. Yeah,
the kids get to watch something new. The parents get to relive the nostalgia.
Yeah, but now with Netflix, it's easier than ever to just watch the original. Like let's have some new ideas.
Okay,
let's try something new. Let's stop being fucking lazy and
you're never gonna get the kid to watch an original fucking 1990, 1980 movie. Like kids just don't do that anymore.
Yeah, I don't think that's true at all. I think because I have I can give you examples like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. A lot of the people that watch it now weren't even fucking born when it was out. Like Netflix makes it so easy to get into shit that was before your time.
That's Netflix and stuff. But like Hollywood, with these hundreds and hundreds of studios, like they're not just gonna make Netflix shows. They're gonna make big budget fucking movies, and they tried
something new.
No,
have
but
a
they
new
did.
Idea.
They did try that, right? From in the 2000s. Remember how shitty movies were in the 2000s?
They're shittier now because now they're just shittier versions of actually good movies.
I don't think it's a bad idea to do reboots. I don't think it's bad. I think a lot of them are poorly executed.
Name me one reboot that's better than the original. Can't do it.
Okay.
New Spider-Man: Homecoming was pretty good.
Yeah. But
without counting superhero movies, name me a reboot that's better.
No, but we're not saying if the reboot is better. We're saying, there are reboots that are good. Wait, no one said the reboots are better. We're just saying they're good. Some of them are good.
You could take this even deeper, I guess, and go to music and do covers, which
that's
who has better covers of original songs.
I don't think that's totally different because recently Garrett, we were talking about this the other day.
Yeah.
Disturbed did The Sound of Silence, and people lost their shit. Oh, the Sound of Silence version is better. Disturbed is fucking shit. They can't even touch the song. But which
I disagree with. I think I like Disturbed's version more than the original because the original has upbeat tunes, which Disturbed makes it sound darker and more depressing. So that's I like Disturbed, but I mean. People can say the original is better, and you can say only the originals are great. But then you look at Johnny Cash doing "Hurt." Nine Inch Nails. Even Nine Inch Nails admitted that's Johnny Cash's song now. Johnny Cash did it better.
Well, the classic example is the Jimi Hendrix version of "All Along the Watchtower." That was originally a Bob Dylan song, and then Jimi Hendrix did his version, and nobody really even knows that it was a Bob Dylan song because Hendrix did the version of that song.
Yeah.
But I think music is such a different medium for movies that you just can't really directly compare a cover to a reboot.
Well, I'll tell you one reboot that's better than the original is the Judge Dredd.
Okay, that I didn't see, so I'll take your word for it. But I don't know. I'm still bitter about the Poltergeist reboot because they took one of the greatest movies of all time and made it some generic piece of shit.
Also, the It movie that recently came out, I heard, is fantastic. All I've heard is great reviews about it. So
I've seen the first one, and I can tell you the new one. Haven't seen it, but it's probably better. The first movie is bad.
Yeah, but it was a mini series though. They didn't have a budget. You know what I mean? It was a TV series essentially, not a proper movie.
I thought it was a movie.
No, it was a mini series.
Regardless, it was pretty bad. So I don't know. I don't think reboots are a terrible idea. I just think that it's just done poorly most of the time. I agree with you, and I disagree with you.
And I mean, like you said, Netflix and a lot of other streaming websites, Hulu and whatnot. Well, there's only two I can think of right now, are doing original shows. Sure, they're doing under like Marvel brand, like the new Luke Cage, the Iron Fist, Daredevil. Although I guess that's technically reboot, except the first one was a movie.
Well, again,
this one's a TV series.
Superhero movies I don't really count because the superhero movies, they've always rebooted them for new generations because
these aren't really reboots though. These are original ideas for television
for those
otherwise
that's what I mean. That's kind of different. I'm talking about, like, when I say reboot, I'm talking about you take the movie, you remake it essentially with new actors. The same movie. You know what I mean? That's what I mean by
what they should be doing is either taking the franchise and not word for word, but like you could remake the story, but kind of change it up a little bit, or reboot the movie, and then something like Netflix or something needs to be like, oh, you like this movie, watch the original, pay us money to watch the original, and they should just do big advertisements for the original movie when it comes out with the reboot.
Why not just have some balls and start taking risks and start doing new ideas?
Because they tried that in 2000s and everyone was like, oh, Hollywood's out of ideas, everything's shit. I can't tell you one fucking movie that was made in the 2000s that I like. Like, every movie on my top, like, whatever list, it's like the earliest, the newest. Oh, it's like 70s, 60s, 80s, 90s. I think the newest one is like Looper, which was like 2015.
No Country for Old Men, 2007.
Yeah, that was a great movie.
Okay, there you go.
Amazing. Any Tarantino movies that came out in the 2000s? I'm just, like Inglourious Bastards.
Didn't like it.
You didn't like it? Oh, I thought it was hilarious. All right, well, I guess we'll just disagree. District 9? District 9 was amazing.
Yeah, District 9 was fantastic. But hey, my point still remains.
And notice all the movies we're talking about that were good in the 2000s were originals and not reboots.
Okay, but District 9 was a very, I'm going to call it an indie movie because...
The Dark Knight series, Batman, started in 2000s.
Yeah, but
those
are reboots.
Yeah, exactly. And those are great. Those are like Christopher Nolan's crowning achievement is, the Dark Knight series.
Yeah, but again, I wasn't really talking about superhero movies.
See, but like I don't
you
think
can't. I don't. Yeah,
superhero movies.
It's like because if saying like, oh, no superhero movies count. Because, it's like because listen. It's like it's the only the prime example of reboots being better. The prime example of reboots being better. You're just like, no, but they don't count.
Hold on. Right. Listen, because they didn't take the 1989 Batman and just reshoot it with different actors. They made a completely different movie. That's the difference.
What's the difference between me and you? Me and you? Me and you?
I don't think we're going to get anywhere.
I don't think we're going to get anywhere. And we're not even talking about what we're supposed to be talking. Let's talk about GoldenEye for the N64 and how it was the second biggest influential shooter because of its multiplayer and how shitty it's aged.
Yeah,
it might have aged shittily, but holy fuck, was that fun back in the day?
Yeah, it was a great game. I just remember like getting the golden gun and feeling like God.
Yeah.
Just like unless someone like came up behind you and sneakily killed you, like you were unstoppable if you had the golden gun. So what the 9 shots it came with?
Something
ran out.
Like that. I don't know.
Something like that.
I have a memory of the last year I ever trick-or-treated. I went to a trick-or-treating party, and before we went out, we were just chilling and drinking sodas and eating chips, and we were playing GoldenEye, and it was like this big party. There was like 20 kids there from my class, and I remember I was like, none of these guys playing GoldenEye right now are like good, so I'm gonna kill them. And I wanted to like impress the girl, so I was like winning, and I don't know, like she didn't give a fuck. But anyways,
Very few women give a fuck about video game skills. Anyways, go on.
well, back then, nowadays, plenty of girls. But so then, like this one kid Dustin, who owned the game because I didn't own it, he grabs a controller, and he just starts dominating. And I was like, "Fuck, motherfucker, you're taking my glory."
Dude, that reminds me of like in high school, in my advanced placement math class, we downloaded. So my teacher was like this electrical engineer graduate who, for some reason, was teaching math in a fucking town of 8,000.
Yeah.
So he taught us how to download this one game called Armageddon. Do you guys know what that is?
No.
It's basically Tron cycles.
Oh, okay.
And it was extremely customizable. Like you could set the speed that the walls fell. You can make walls last forever. We usually made walls last forever to make it more challenging. And like I was the only gamer in this class. So I had so much fun shitting on everyone in this class.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Like some people thought they knew how to play games, and I'm just like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Sit down and watch. Like it was so amazing. I had so much fun because just shitting on like bad players feels good.
It does. Like no, I that reminds me when we would sneak into the computer lab at recess and play StarCraft, and like it would be like my friends that were like skaters, and it's just like they had like I'm shit at StarCraft, but like they were shit compared to me, you know.
Yeah, I'm probably shit at Armageddon, but they were just like fucking wood tier.
They were too busy trying to learn how to ollie to play StarCraft.
Basically. Shit, I was gonna bring something up, but I already.
You're talking about StarCraft and your skater friends and how you were shitting on them. I think we got the gist of it.
No, yeah, it was something else, and then I forgot. So, anyways, well, like I don't know, like I remember playing a lot of GoldenEye and just, but when you go back to it, you know what it is like we were used to the N64 controller, and you got used to the controls. I don't think it's a terrible game. It's just that we're just not used to the backwards controls now, so we're like, oh, this is unplayable. But you just don't have the same patience or whatever.
N64 had a very unusual controller.
Yeah.
We used to have a higher tolerance for bad controls, and now we've been spoiled essentially by, solid, smooth controls in modern games.
But what it did...
I don't even think it's that. I think it's just the N64 had a piss-poor controller design.
Yes, the N64 controller was awful.
You're not wrong.
But yeah, no, like GoldenEye and then its predecessors... I can't fucking talk today. But its sister game, Perfect Dark, they made multiplayer FPS like a thing. And one funny thing that they said was the multiplayer in GoldenEye was like added in very last minute. And then
really? So that was almost an afterthought.
Yeah, it ended up being like the biggest thing about it.
Yeah, who would have given a fuck about that game without multiplayer?
Exactly.
I never played that game solo ever.
Yeah.
I didn't. Is there like a solo campaign in GoldenEye or anything?
Yeah, you can go through the whole story. It's like the whole story of the movie.
I didn't know that.
See, Garrett didn't even know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know, and like so that led the way to games like Halo and Call of Duty, which we kind of already talked about.
FPS is these were the grandpappies of FPS, and then Call of Duty and Halo were the fucking unruly teenager piece of shit of FPSs.
Yeah, like I was down with Call of Duty Black Ops, and that was the last one I really played, and I just got tired of first person.
Honestly, like the newest like Call of Duty-esque FPS, Rainbow Six Siege, It honestly looks pretty cool because they do have different classes. Like different classes do different things. There's like scouts, explosion experts,
Yeah.
and whatnot. I don't know. I've just seen my little brother play it, but I mean, I think FPS have actually come a long way from Call of Duty, and they actually seem all right now. Just because in Call of Duty, all you could do to stand out was you either get weapon skins and mod your weapons, I guess.
Yeah.
And now there's different classes that you can play. So I feel like there's more strategy in the PvP aspect of
Well,
FPSs now.
what I'll say is Call of Duty 3, the one I played the most with my old roommate, it had a class system. And then Call of Duty 4, they took it away.
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty. Yeah, I can't talk today. It's crazy. Call of Duty, they took it away, and it became more and more generic as they went on. And now, well, except for the new Counter-Strike, the big grandpappies, like best FPSs, they all have a class system.
Yeah. And I think that's good because, again, it makes strategy a more important role in how you're going to approach the certain game mode.
What I think they need to start doing now, though, is kind of like how League is, but for Overwatch, where you have like masteries and talents and stuff. And so you're playing the same character over and over again, but everyone can play it kind of differently.
A little bit more customizability.
Yeah, and I think that would be the best. Because I just found Overwatch too stale.
In Call of Duty, it was they had like perks, So if you add the class system with perks,
yeah,
I think is what you're looking for.
Yeah, that'd probably be the best.
Yeah, and then even now, games like PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, like those are blowing up. That's probably one of the biggest FPSs right now.
Fuck, how did we not talk about PUBG?
Well, we're talking about it right now, Mike.
Yeah, that game's actually very not customization at all. You just use what you find, and people are liking that aspect.
You scavenged, and it's so on Twitch, it's the most watched game consistently. It's beating out League of Legends, which is nuts. League of Legends, sure, new games would beat it out for maybe a couple days, but PUBG has been consistently beating it out for a couple months.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to take off. From what I hear, the competitive part, they need to fix cameras, and the commentary needs to be spruced up a bit. Apparently, the people that are commentating it aren't too great, but
a lot of
it seems to be here to stay.
A lot of it is like it's really hard to talk because like all the matches that I've watched, it's just like 45 minutes of like not 45 minutes, but most of it is just walking and like driving and scavenging.
Yeah,
very little is actual combat.
Yeah, there's a lot of combat at the beginning and the end. In the middle, it is just a lot of scavenge and travel. Yeah. But at the end and beginning, I think there's quite a bit of action.
Yeah. It is entertaining.
You could say the same for League of Legends. The beginning and middle of games are kind of the most exciting, where the middle is, just the farm fest. I mean, some games can be clown fiestas and bloodbaths.
In some games, the mid is the end.
So. Yeah, that's true too.
So I don't know, Eric. Do you know what PUBG is?
I have no idea.
Okay.
No.
It's just
the aspect of it is you get about 100 players in a lobby, and then you have this map, same map every game, and you parachute. You get to choose when you want to jump out of a plane. The plane's flying over the island, and you get to jump out, and basically you just scavenge. Like you start out with nothing except the clothes on your back.
Yep.
And you scavenge for body armor, helmets, guns, weapon mods, ammo, everything.
Packs.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of neat.
Yeah, and so if you get killed, you're dead and you're out. And
and
last person standing, or if you're a group of four, last two, whatever.
Right. Yeah, last group standing, basically.
Yeah. And it's interesting. It's something that I don't really want to get into because I'm just like I played a shit ton of Counter-Strike Source or because Go's the new one. Yeah, so I played a lot of
Yes,
Source.
Go.
I've played a lot of Source. We'll get into it, but I played a shit ton of BioShock, and we're already so behind. I don't want to get in pub.
Yeah, it's funny though. A lot of CS:GO players are apparently moving to PUBG, and because like the number one, we're like one of the top streamers. His name is Shroud with the Cloud9 organization.
Yeah.
He streams it, and he used to be like a CS:GO pro, and now he is playing PUBG.
Well, a lot of these Hearthstone guys aren't really playing Hearthstone anymore. People just get tired, and like people are going to move on from League. Like League will not. I think it's going to be a long time, but like League will not always be relevant.
Well, the thing about League is that they change something every season. Like they change the jungle every season. They change Dragon pretty often. Like League, every season there's something new. So I think League, Riot knows what they're doing with League. I think they know how to make it last because they add new shit. They add new champions. So.
And I agree with that, but I think at some point it's just going to be not enough to keep interest.
Yeah.
Well, nothing lasts forever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like eventually World of Warcraft servers will be shut down.
No, Mike, don't say that. That's not true.
One day.
Mike, it's not true.
I'm gonna be like 70 years old and be like trying to log in and be like servers are down, and it's gonna be like wow, that's crazy.
You have dementia, like where the fuck is my account?
What's my password?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
We'll have a new MMO by the time Blizzard's
exactly.
fucking done. They know how much money's in MMOs, so
maybe there'll be like some new MOBA and they'll have some new element to it. And
well, by that time we'll probably just be having like sex with our virtual waifus rather than playing games.
I hope
you can only come so many times a day, Eric.
I hope to one day meet a real woman.
Oh, don't be like that.
I'm kidding. It's a joke. God, I'm really not funny today.
I know it's a joke. I'm just saying they're going to think it's serious.
I hope not. They must have really low expectations of Mike.
So the last anything I wanted to talk about is BioShock and how BioShock
story-based RPG. Yes.
Yeah, it kind of brought it back, in my opinion. Like they were trying to do story ones before it, but
that's that game. That's that game with like the giant robot and like the undead loli, right?
Yeah.
I love Eric's description of it. Undead loli.
Well, that's what it looks like.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Eric, BioShock takes place in 1960.
You're on your own. I have no clue. I played 15 minutes.
And basically, this guy Andrew Ryan, this millionaire, got tired of, the American way or like the Russians, and he just got tired of society. So he was like, I'm gonna make my own city, underwater. And he, what's his quote when you first enter is, it's like, no gods, no kings, only men. And like everyone was equal. So while they're down there, they find this slug, and basically its entire DNA, its entire buildup is stem cells. So they're like able to do whatever the fuck they wanted with it, kind of thing. So they did mad science bullshit.
Or you could say they did weird science.
Yep. You could say that. They didn't make like a genie from a computer, though, so I guess you couldn't say they did weird science. So anyways, and so Andrew Ryan ended up making like actually lacing it with like a pheromone or some shit, so like everyone starts listening to him and everything, all hell breaks loose, and you're this guy that gets trapped down there, and it's this big twist ending, and blah, blah, blah. But you know what? It was a great fucking game. It was a fantastic story. It was fantastic to play through. And they kind of did something so much better with telling a story with a shooter than a lot of shooters did before it and even after it.
Have you played all the BioShocks?
Yeah, I didn't play through the DLC of Infinite, which I wanted to because it looked really interesting. Infinite was okay. I didn't really like it, but I really did like the character Elizabeth. She's awesome. But BioShock 1, I used to speed run, and I used to challenge run. So I would just play it, use no plasmids, no guns, just a melee weapon, and on hard, and that was interesting. That was fun. And then I started to speed run it, and I was getting into the community, but then they started to find like what are they called? Wall hacks or clipping. And I was like, I don't want to get into clipping. I just want to play the entire game as fast as possible. So I kind of stepped away from the forums and stuff, and I was like, I'm done speedrunning this game. Because like another game that I speedrun a lot was Mega Man X3, and there's no really like glitch or wall hacks or whatever with that game. That's what I like. I like just playing it glitchless runs.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. BioShock was fucking great. I honestly, I suggest it to any of you, both of you, because both of you would enjoy it.
I tried to play BioShock, the first one.
Yeah.
I got the first 15 minutes in, and I don't know. Wasn't drawing me in. I couldn't keep playing it for some reason. I don't know.
It's so good.
Yeah, I mean, if we can continue talking about these story FPSs with Fallout, although I think we've said enough about Fallout.
Fallout we covered pretty extensively in last week's episode.
And we
but we could also talk about Borderlands. Borderlands also is really, well, the whole game is basically story oriented.
Yeah,
I guess. Yeah, you just farm the game for fat loot while playing the story, and yeah, I don't really have much to say about Borderlands. It was a fun game. It was wacky.
I think we talked
crazy
about it before.
I think we
briefly did. It's that one with that chick who looks like a jester, right?
Yes, I know what he's talking about. Yes.
Is that okay? I don't know.
That's
But yeah, Borderlands was fun. They have a fucking unicorn or something, a pony. It's named Butt Stallion.
Yeah, because they're wacky. Like I remember everyone was criticizing Borderlands because it had like memes in it. Like you could find like troll faces around the world.
Oh yeah,
and ponies.
That's what Borderlands is.
Hey,
it's just about memes and wackiness.
Wait a minute. A reboot that's better than the original? Eric.
My Little Pony Friendship is Magic.
Yeah, the one that you love. Yes.
Oh my god. I've talked about this with you guys, and I said anytime MLP comes up on the show, I'm just gonna leave.
Hey, Garrett, that proves our point, though.
I don't give a fuck.
He can't deny that.
It doesn't. That's a TV series, not a movie.
Okay, so the movies that are rebooted that are better doesn't count, and then the TV shows that are...
The new Star Trek movies are better than the originals.
No. I don't know. That's like apples and oranges, man. Like, the new ones are entertaining action movies, and the old ones are long episodes of actual Star Trek. Yeah. So how do you compare that?
The way I just did, and say that the new ones are better. Mm-hmm. Although I can't support that.
You need to watch the one with the whales.
I can't support my own statement.
You need to watch the one with the whales and then get back to me.
The one with the whales has William Shatner, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to watch William Shatner.
No, it's so good because you see all these future people in the past and it's all zany.
I don't like William Shatner.
Like the Doctor?
Like the idea of him in Star Trek for some reason. Maybe it's just because I don't like the original series.
Yeah.
The original series is too cheesy.
It really is.
The doctor goes to a hospital and he's just like, like butchers. And he's all like disgusted because like It's all
yeah, 'cause in the
old-timey,
future.
shitty medicine. Yeah.
That's funny. But yeah, I mean, I'm a huge Star Trek fan, but I can't get behind watching the original series because it hurts.
I have one question for Eric.
Yep.
Because you didn't really talk this episode. Explain in great detail.
What are you talking about?
Well, you didn't have much to say, right? But I'm just saying, explain in great detail what your favorite Halo game was.
What are you doing here?
I get not being entertaining, I guess.
I don't know anything about. I'll tell you.
Come on, you were like the greatest Halo kid I knew, man.
I've played Halo maybe 2-3 times in my entire life.
Yeah.
And it was when I went over to this guy's house who had Halo, and we played a couple rounds of Halo, and then we played Fester's Quest on the NES.
So you liked you called it Hey Blow.
Eric, I have another question for you.
Shoot.
When did you decide to
Shoot.
live in the past and never step into modernity?
I don't know what you're talking about.
See, that's frustrated me for years with him.
Like, you don't. I don't think you know how irritating it is that you don't play modern games.
It's frustrating because we're frustrated for you because there's so much good that you're missing out on.
there's amazing games that you could play that have great stories. The Witcher 3, for example.
Yeah, but I don't play
that
games
are
for story. I play games for things like hand-eye coordination and challenging your
That's
pattern
bullshit.
recognition.
Okay, so there was
modern games don't really challenge your hand-eye coordination and your skill on the level that the older games do.
Play
so
Dark Souls.
This is first of all, Dark Souls. And this is also very triggering me because there was an indie game that I wanted you to play called Nuclear Throne, which is literally what you are describing times a million.
Well, something like that I might play.
Well, why haven't you?
And you could also play The Witcher 3
I don't know,
it's a great game.
Because I collect NES and SNES and Game Boy, and that's what I've been into for years. And there's so many games out there. There's still new old shit that I haven't discovered yet, and that I'm still discovering.
You know what you are? You're gonna take us back to the past to play the shitty games that suck ass.
No, I play the good ones. He plays the shitty ones.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. I think I was born in the best of time era because I play old games and I play new games. I'm not a stickler. I'm not a new F word.
What?
F word? What?
Not fuck, but the other one.
Uh-oh.
The extremely rude one.
Oh, you
Yeah.
mean...
No.
I don't know. People ask me that, and I'm like, I like what I like.
So
And
Garrett,
if that means I'm a stickler, then so be it.
So Garrett, I tried to get him to play I think we for sure talked about this, Final Fantasy X, and he just yeah, you already talked about this, and he's missing out.
Fantasy X is such a good game.
Yeah, he's missing out.
You know what? I'm sure it's good for
you're
some.
missing out on so many games, Eric.
It just didn't suck me in the way FF7 did. I don't know.
Yuna will suck you so good into that game.
Yeah, man. Just once you get once you get to a point, you
Which one do you
equip
prefer?
armor and
I
you
prefer
change
Riku.
your clothing.
Riku is 15.
Yeah, you fucking pedo.
Not in my head canon, she isn't.
Oh god. Well,
Besides, I'm only 20-something, so that doesn't matter.
It does. It does, actually.
I don't know. I was trying to make a joke like I'm younger than I am, but
that's what I like about high school girls. They keep getting old, or I keep I keep getting older and they keep staying. Oh my god.
They stay the same age.
I can't talk today, so I'm gonna end this. Holy shit, I'm embarrassed. I'm actually embarrassed right now. Okay, good night.
See you next
Goodbye,
time.
friends.